hiring is a battle that we're going to have to fight the whole way through. But what
Yeah,
we want to discuss today is making that battle much simpler. Because, the whole process of owning a business, as the CEO, moving from owner operator to CEO, the battles aren't going to be different. It's going to be about how we strategize. The only difference will be that we have a game plan in place already for when things happen, because they will, as it will with hiring and any other process, stuff will go wrong. But as long as you have a game plan, you can prevent that and kind of try to get to just the people that you want to deal with. So that's what we're going about today.
definitely, definitely. So like I said, on this we try to go deep and dive in. So we're going to be talking about the job ad, give you examples of a job ad, talking about because what happens is that we're all companies, and as you know, we're faceless till you're not in the company. You're just trying to get a job. People are out there job seeking, maybe from going from one job to another, or they're just unemployed right now. So they're coming across your ads on these platforms: Indeed, Facebook, ZipRecruiter, right?
Yep.
Craigslist, wherever you're placing ads. If you're placing ads in multiple places, when they meet you somewhere, you should be giving out business cards that you're seeking jobs, right? So you should be having hey jobs, friends and referrals, things like that. You want to be able to describe what type of job they would actually come in, and that job description comes from you, the owner, based on your values.
Core values.
Core values, right? What is your core value? What is your mission? What are you about? What is this company about, right? What are you guys? uh
What do you stand on? What do you stand on as an owner? What do your employees stand on? Ours is accountability, responsibility, the ability to communicate with each other in a professional manner, things like that. For your own company, you need to set up what your core values are so that from the start, you can hire, you can do everything in your company based on your core values. You hire based on your core values, you operate based on your core values, you do your sales and marketing. Your core values are going to be a major component in, because it's basically what you want to represent your company. When you're not, you the owner as the face is not going to be in front of every client all day all the time. So your core values are going to put in place what you want people who represent you to be, how you want them to represent you, basically.
and the other thing about the reason why it's so important to have those core values on there is because that way when you're holding people accountable, you can hold them accountable towards the core value. You can say, hey, we're responsible here, we're accountable, right? We communicate that. And you can say, and once you can tie all those things back to your core values, then it's not a problem. And this starts with the hiring process. This starts with communicating that when you're hiring people, asking questions. There's not a set stream of questions, because you can ask somebody from one company, where it's like, hey, they like to have fun there, everybody's joking around. Do you take jokes seriously, or do you like, are you do you want to just go home after work, right? You don't want any kind of, and there's not a right or wrong answer, but that might not be the right answer for your community, right?
Right.
For your
It
business,
might not line up with your core values.
with
That's
your
why it's
core
so
values.
important that it's your specific core values.
And a lot of times, we just hire and forget it. Telling a story, just, and I'll let Sheree tell her story because it.
My
I used
story's hilarious. I have more stories about hiring. Boy, I didn't start getting this right until recently. And I know that I got it right recently because my executive team is amazing. But before I had the amazingness of people like, Warren and Oscar and Sharina on my team, I had people that I would hire on the corner at Dunkin' Donuts. It's a true story. So it's New York City. I'm running around with my cleaning materials on me because I would do jobs myself. And I'd lock eyes with a random person, like, hey, they'll be like, hey, you clean? I'm like, yeah, you looking for work? Yeah. Then I'll hand them a card with an address. Boom, there you go. You know, come here tomorrow. And that is how my hiring used to go. And I would wonder, after I hired, this is 7, 8 people like this, literally randomly in places in New York City, then I'm wondering, half of them don't show up. They don't know where to show up. They don't know how to show up. And I'm like, what is wrong with you people? How are you not just perfectly trained, ready to go employees that know exactly what I want?
And a lot of times we're not our ideal. We're not thinking about who is coming through the door, right? We're thinking about we will come through the door, right? Like, I would know what to do automatically. I wouldn't have no problem. You wouldn't have to tell me anything. I would be able to execute right away, and that
Yep.
would be the thing. But we know that most people want to have
95% of them.
want instructions. They want to have they and then so in my case, what we found was in the same vein process where we were just meeting people, places. We had a warehouse one time where we were just like, hey, show up at this warehouse, and like girls wouldn't show up, and I'd be like, ladies wouldn't show up, and I'd be like, what's going on? They'd be like, do you see what this warehouse looks like? You're a guy on you're telling me to come to this warehouse.
Creepy guy giving an address.
They come back there to the I'm talking about literally. I've had people call and say, where are you guys at? I'm like, we way in the back. Just come to the back.
Those poor ladies were like, oh my goodness, I don't know if we're going to get hired or get strangled. But
Exactly. So that was a very dangerous. So and coming to think about it, I was like, okay, yeah, that is dangerous. You haven't met this person, you don't know their reputable, you don't know their company, you don't know anything about them. So we talk about how do we have that for the job ad and making sure that people start knowing us.
yep. So one thing that we have both found, Clive and I, that has worked as far as the hiring process, because we want to go over it from top to bottom here during this live and make sure that you guys leave with a better understanding of what you should do and how you should do it. So one of the things that I have found that is just the most powerful tool is, drum roll, information. What was the problem with me hiring that person at the Dunkin' Donuts, right?
No
They
information.
don't know nothing about me. I don't know anything about them. They don't know about my company. I don't know if they're qualified. They don't know if I'm qualified. Remember, that is a two-way street, whether they're qualified to work for you and whether you are qualified to lead them. That is a two-way street. So I wasn't sure about any of this stuff and was still just bringing them on. And that leads to confusion, chaos. Not knowing is always a terrible thing, right? I couldn't imagine, well, I could because I did job search for a while, but someone hires you and they're just like, here, just show up here. No other instruction. You have no clue, which I wouldn't even tell people what to wear. Just show up, and that leaves people uncertain, not knowing what's going on, and less likely to show up and be your ideal candidate. So, throughout the hiring process, I want you guys to understand that the more information you can put out about your company, not just about what you want them to do, about you and your company, is going to lead to a better batch of people that come to find you, because people that are more informed are more comfortable in the decision that they're making as to why they want to work with you. Because we have to remember, when people are, I don't know if I didn't start out owning a business. I worked jobs for over 20 years. I've been owning my business for about the last 7 or 8 years. So when I was looking for a job, I'd put out 1,000 applications. So the 5 people called me back. I have no clue who they are, what they're talking about. I'm just going to show up for an interview and hopefully they'll, pay me and take me along. But that was a stressful process. We want to make it easier. And when we do that, that's going to help us bring on more qualified people, people who are comfortable in the process, that they know you, they know your company, they know about your core values, it aligns with them. It's not going to happen like magic every time where you put out your core values and these magical best employees are going to show up. Nope. But at least they know exactly what you expect. They know exactly what to expect from your company as a team, what to expect from you as a person, and everything like that. So, from the start of the hiring process, I want us to remember that we need to keep our potential employees very well informed. Clive has some great ideas on how to do that. I like the video introduction that you do with for you and your team, Clive. I think that's amazing. That's something we should be doing. So at the start, something you had said too, putting out ads. Let's start there. What kind of ad should we put out? How should this ad look? Who are we looking to attract with it?